So today was one of those days that did not go as planned, which that's like every day, so I don't know why that's any surprise that today wouldn't go as planned. Making plans seems to be a waste of time. Anyway, just had issues with the skidder again this morning. Still trying to get all the bugs worked out of that skidder we're running now, that D series. I'd like to get it all straightened out and get it all where it needs to run and be pulling wood on a good, steady, regular basis. Have everything working on it. Like today we had winch problems. And I'm hoping it's just low on oil everywhere because I don't know. Equipment is nothing but headaches. If you're young and you're out there watching and you're thinking of getting into the forestry profession or any kind of business where there's a lot of equipment, don't do it. Don't. Work at McDonald's. I swear some days you think you'll be better off if you really do. That's, well, I don't want to say that's a lie because some days it's really how I feel, but that's not entirely how I feel. But it is. Anything with equipment, when you have a lot of equipment, and whether it be forestry, construction, farming, anything, it can be a headache, it can be a nightmare, it can be frustrating. You really have two options. You can, one, buy new equipment and make payments and work for the bank, or two, have old iron like us and be a good mechanic, which I am not a good mechanic. So I'm not in a very good position. Either way, went and looked at some timber tonight, didn't buy any timber. There was somebody that come there before me to looked at it, which I think I know who it was, but they made an offer, but I didn't see anything that I wanted to cut. Honestly, I didn't see even close to there being enough there for me to justify even moving the skid steer there to cut it. So unless they seen something I didn't, and I like to think I walked the place pretty thoroughly. It was only 14 acres. I couldn't have missed much. So I don't know. Different people see different things. Enjoy today's video. It's short. I'm surprised I didn't have to censor it or put some little blurred black line bars on it. You'll see why when I'm trying to fish this log out. Tomorrow I'll probably finish the cleanup on that job down there. Then I've got to meet with the neighbor tomorrow morning to look at his timber across the road. Then I'd like to try to move the skid steer home. I was actually I was making some calls today about renting a Fecon Stump X grinder, if any of you guys are familiar with that. And after talking with someone from Fecon, they said it did not require high flow hydraulics to run it, which my cat does not have high flow. But then after talking to another person who rents them, because I asked what the sale price was, and I sure didn't want to buy one. I know that. I was blown away what they cost. It just, I don't understand what could cost so much money with them. But yeah, the guy down in Springfield, they said that you would need high flow hydraulics to get the torque you needed once you got the bit down in the stump. So that rules me out. I didn't think the rental price was too bad at all. The rental price was very reasonable. But enjoy today's video. I guess that's about all. The new Worker High Vis shirt at Logger Threads is pretty awesome. Like, I don't wear high vis shirts, but I'll probably wear a couple of these to work. Not at the same time, of course. I'll just wear one at a time, but I'll wear some to work. If you have a crew or multiple people working with you, you should definitely check into the Worker High Vis shirts. They're probably a lot more comfortable and just cooler all around than the high vis shirts you are wearing. Unless they're your own company shirts, then they're not. Well, you know. Anyway, so yeah, check those out. Pre-orders are on now. We expect those shirts the middle of June. And bulk orders, we're doing discounts on the bulk orders if you order 10 or more on bulk for a crew. So we've had several orders. You know, Canada, guys, I hate to say it, but Canada buys a lot more Logger Threads apparel than we sell here stateside. And we sell a lot of stuff stateside. Most of it goes to the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington, and then New York State buys a lot of stuff. West Virginia, Pennsylvania. Those are top 5 places in the United States. But Canada, Canada buys the most of it. I've got to say, Canadians, you guys are my best customers with logger threads. You guys buy a lot of that stuff, and I am grateful. American people, we can step our game up. Step it up. Guys, enjoy today's video. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, the first thing I was going to do this morning was cut this big tree up there behind the house, but luckily the owner called me on the way down here this morning, so he knew I was going to cut it. And he told me about the septic tank and lateral line right in there behind the house, kind of right in the area where I was needing, because there wasn't a whole lot of room to work with anyway. But that was right in the area I was needing to back in, and I was actually going to use the pusher to kind of push it across the creek. And I sat up there and I looked and I debated for about 25 or 30 minutes on kind of what I needed to do. Then the owner's wife came out and we talked for quite a while, just back and forth. Super nice lady, and I think I've decided just not to cut it. It's like I told her, it's the biggest tree on the place. It's just a big rough log. It's no veneer, just a really good big rough log. A lot of footage in it, probably a 500-foot tree. But I don't want to run the risk of tearing something up. I sure don't. And she completely understood, which I'm glad, but for me, it's hard to walk away from a tree. It's hard to walk away from any tree, but especially when you got a tree that's got probably 500 or maybe a little more board feet in it. It's hard to walk away. So now we've grabbed the choker cable and we're about to go for a swim. This water is going to be ridiculously cold. I already know that. Cable up on here at the saw. It's going to be ridiculously cold. All for a tree. All for a tree. Here we go. One thing I forgot to do was bring an old pair of boots, because I'm extremely tender-footed. And I know there's rocks out there. That is just too good of a log to leave and let go to waste. I don't know if this is greed or stupidity. I have not yet made up my mind. Hopefully the water's too cold for Sneaky Snake to be in there, but I could see one or two being in here at this little bend. We're going to leave out the brief nudity that's getting ready to ensue. I'm telling you, man, the things I do for $1. Things I do for $1. Well, that really wasn't as bad as I thought. We're hooked up there. I actually walked across that old dead log over where that little shallower there, then went over and hooked it up. Yeah, it's like I said, the things I do for logs. So I'm going to get my clothes back on. I'm glad we can still kind of keep these videos PG or PG-13 rated, excuse me. That water was cold, just like you'd figure. Spring-fed water. Now we're going to see if we can get it sucked up out of there, and we'll cut it off and take it to the deck. I'll be danged if I waste anything. So apparently, we don't have all the bugs worked out of that skidder. The winch, of course, that thing's got a couple of leaks, so I put hydraulic oil in this morning. Put about a gallon in, which a gallon's quite a bit, really. And everything was working fine. Well, the winch really wasn't wanting to suck that log in. It'd pull, but once it got a little resistance, it'd just act like the winch was in a bind. Well, then I lost about all hydraulic function on the skidder. I mean, everything. So, and there was no leak. So we've had a lot of fluid go somewhere. Apparently the whole thing's really low on fluid. The winch system too, or something. It's a lot of work for a log I didn't even get out yet. Skidder's sitting across the creek because it won't even move. Because, like I said, all of our hydraulic has gone somewhere. Not on the ground, but somewhere. Mystery to the world. It's getting hot anyway. I figured I better just leave before I get real aggravated. Oh well, that's logging. That is logging. Boy, that log's really checking out bad. Look at that. Really checking out. I put some irons in it real fast. Not a bad bunch of logs. Aggravates me about that big one, and it really aggravates me wasting all the time on that thing on the creek or out in the creek and not getting it out, especially since I got out in that water. What a mess. What a mess. Well, we're headed to look at another job of timber. We're kind of hoping for some rain. Me and Brandon, or I say me and Brandon, I'm going to say that very loosely. Brandon planted our Bermuda grass yesterday. He broadcasted it and we rolled it in. Once again, I'm with the we thing. He rolled it in. So it'd be nice to have a little drink of water for it to help it get going. But they're calling for rain tonight and tomorrow. Of course, scattered pop-up, summery, hot type showers. I think for the next 7 days, a chance of them. Now we're headed to Pleasant Hope, Missouri. We're going to go over here and look at some storm-damaged timber. I got a call yesterday about a bunch of walnut was blown down. And they said since these were blown down, they just wanted to see about logging their whole place off. Which, go us. Go us. We'll gladly oblige them. So, let's head over here and snoop around, see what we can find. Maybe add some more work to the list.